All right, here we go. We're live. Serious
That's
and
right.
selling this Outcast alongside Insane Throttle with Mike Ball. What's up, Mike?
Insane Wheels.
Insane Wheels. I always fucking up.
It's
Why
all
do
right. It's all right because it's very similar, and Insane Throttle and me are like father and son, so don't even worry about it.
So you are Insane Wheels. Sorry about
Yes,
that.
sir.
Man.
All good.
How's he doing, by the way? I haven't spoken to James in quite some time.
He's doing good. Yeah, he's doing good. He's been doing really well with his YouTube channel. He's like 110,000 now, and he got his plaque and all that. So I'm really stoked for him.
That's fantastic. I love watching when I get time. See, when you do your live in the morning, it's perfect because that's my lunchtime. So 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
That's ideal. I'm like,
perfect.
Man, you must be eating real early. Must be nice. Yeah.
And it's perfect. But when they do their show, and I like catching it because I like the fucking them going back and forth with the China Doll and him.
They go at it all night long.
Yeah, I think it's fucking great. Man, we got a lot of.
Oh, don't worry about it. They're gonna just be flowing in. So don't even.
Well, that's great, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. What's up, everyone in the chat, man? Much love and respect to everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Connie, Barbie, Lee. Straight 8 jacket. Damn.
Straight jacket. Yeah.
Straight jacket. All right. Oh, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to be doing from now on, I'm going to be doing the news live every Friday night at 8:30. I used to do it at 4:30 because my partner that used to do it with me could only do it at 4:30. I think I told you about him, Mike, but he is a functioning alcoholic and he's not too much reliable. So, but he can only do it at 4:30 so that because after 4:30 he's wasted because he comes home from work. Yeah, there you go. But so now I changed it to 8:30 and I'm going to have people like yourself on. And again, thank you for coming on, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So let me say this is the news and let me get to a couple of the stories. So the big story, and I'm glad that you look at world news because this one I need to be clearing up a little bit. So this was a couple of days ago. So Musk offers voters 1 million a day to sign PAC petition backing the Constitution, and then it says, "Is that legal?" Okay,
right. That's the question the federal government's going to push.
So here's the thing, though. A guy like Elon Musk, he's not a normal dude. He has lawyers and
billions.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So anything he does, I'm sure he gets great info from. He probably has as many lawyers to fill up my house at his disposal.
No kidding.
That go, can we do this? Is this legal? And do you think he doesn't think it's because if it was illegal, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Trust me, that dude doesn't make a single move without a lawyer looking over the move.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
A lawyer.
Absolutely.
10 lawyers.
Yeah, totally.
No question about it. So let's see here. The billionaire founder of Tesla and SpaceX and owner of X, who's gone all in on Republican Donald Trump's candidacy for the White House, has already committed at least $70 million to help the former president. Now he's pledged to give away $1 million a day to voters for signing his Political Action Committee's petition backing the Constitution. So I'm pretty sure it's the First and Second Amendment that he's looking to
correct.
Protect. And you don't even really have to be voting. You just have to sign a petition. And it's a random, you might win $1 million a day.
You go into like a random lottery.
Right.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. All you have to do is sign up for the just the backing of what the message is, right? And you could win.
So the giveaway is raising questions and alarms among some election experts who say it is a violation of the law to link a cash handout to signing a petition that also requires a person to register to vote. I mean, if that's how many millions of dollars do politicians rake in every day through donations so they can get favors when these people get voted?
Of course, that's what lobbying is.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
He's just doing it outright, but he's not even. All he's doing is
no, he's just being open with the shit.
Yeah, right. That's all he's really doing, and he's not even giving it to a politician. He's giving it to a normal citizen who's signing this petition.
Right. And actually there was already a winner, which was
I didn't know that.
Got visited and delivered his check of $1 million. Yep.
Can you imagine that? I love this guy because this guy has
Elon Musk doesn't play around. You know what I mean?
No,
he doesn't play. If he says he's gonna do it, he's gonna fucking do it. You know.
I love this guy because he doesn't give a shit, and he's got I don't give a fuck money for eons, not days. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable money. Yeah, you're right. Unbelievable wealth.
I love the time where he told the CEO of Disney to go fuck himself from the interview he was doing because he knew he was in the audience. In so many words, because they pulled the funding on X, Disney.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
And he was in that interview, and he said, "You're gonna bribe me with money? He goes, go fuck yourself." And he said, "Hi, Bob," because Bob Iger was in the audience, and he's like, "I know
great.
you." That was
doing
like
that little eye wink.
Yeah. Basically, told everybody, "You, and what are you gonna do?"
Right.
Like honestly, what are you gonna do if you take the legal action? Even if he's wrong, he can keep you in court till you're broke.
No kidding.
And it wouldn't be a drop in the bucket for him. He's worth 200.
Well, hence that's exactly the problem when, that's why the federal government has a 98% conviction rate is because of the amount of resources they have, right? It's unlimited, and you go against them, you're going against the machine, man. You better have some serious money to go against them.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And, he did that rally with Trump, which is everybody was great. It was great over. I mean, Elon Musk basically, I think, is taking his money and power and he's putting it in the right direction instead of these people that kind of use their money and power.
Well, yeah, he could be buying bricks for he could be buying pallets of bricks for protesters. He could be doing all sorts of shit, right?
Yeah,
so can't complain about this.
And he chooses the opposite. He also says that his life war is against the woke agenda. Because of his son. I'm sure you've heard that story, right?
I have not, actually.
His son, when he was in high school, I don't know how many children he has, but I know one of his sons.
I'm sure he has many.
Yeah, exactly. A guy like that doesn't not have children.
Totally.
His son was going through a difficult time, and he basically told his dad, I think I'm a woman, and he didn't know what to do. So this was before, he was really in the public eye. I mean, everybody knew who Elon Musk was, but this was.
Oh, so this is a minute ago.
Yeah, this was before Joe Rogan interview and so on and so forth. So he goes to the doctors and he consults with these guys, and they tell him, put him on the
hormone bullshit.
Yeah, hormone blockers, and it's just on it. And of course, they tell you that it's just like putting it on pause. You can, if it's not, you could take him off. He goes right back to normal, which is a total crock of shit that we know now. But back then, this is what the advice he gave him, and that's what he did. So apparently his son is really screwed up now. And now they lied to him and they bullshitted him, right? And they used his son as a pawn. And
of course. You think that they weren't going to do that?
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. And so now his agenda is to destroy the woke ideology. And that's the wrong guy to choose.
Totally. You're right.
But yeah, man, I love this guy. He's great. I mean, and then he was on Tucker Carlson a couple of weeks ago joking. Did you see the joke that he made?
No, not in particular.
He and of course all the leftists and they're all screaming. He goes, "Oh." The joke was because this was the second or third time there was an assassination attempt Trump, because it was 3 times, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was 3 times.
Well, it's 3 times. It's actually 4, but they've completely swept one completely under the rug.
Really?
What it was is he wasn't actually getting actively shot at. There was bombs of a car suspected that he was actually going to attack the dude, whatever. So that was found. That was before this last attempt.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So Elon's on Tucker Carlson and he made a joke. He goes, there's no need to make an attempt on Kamala's life because that she's just going to do what the powers that be want anyway. So nobody's and it was like a joke. It's like there's no reason to attempt on her life. So it was like a joke. So then the left spins it and Elon makes a joke about Kamala getting assassinated, so on and so forth. And it's like, oh guys, come on. They were literally laughing because the conversation started off as a joke. Like he was like, what are you going to do if Kamala wins? And then Elon was like, I don't know, I'm fucked. He goes, how many years am I going to get in prison? I don't know.
Yeah, at that point,
and then screwed. They were just joking, they were having fun. And then, of course, the left takes it and spins it, and it's just unreal.
That's typical behavior, though.
Yeah,
that's typical.
I think the majority of people are getting the hint, though. I see,
but I think it's because of shows like this.
Absolutely,
people are, dude. Honestly, because if it were left only to the mainstream media,
no question,
dude. Could you imagine?
No, and this makes me think. I know I'm a lot older than you, but 10 years ago, 20 years ago, what was really the truth? Because now
you guys don't know. Yeah, right. That's the whole thing.
Because now that we have shows like this on a small scale, but even on a grander scale, now you have Tucker Carlson and you have Valuetainment and you have Joe Rogan, and they don't have anybody paying them or holding them by the strings to say what they need to say. They could say whatever they want.
Self-sufficient.
So now you're getting the truth, and people are really waking up. I mean,
hence why these shows do gain such popularity.
Right? What I mean? Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it, and it's the left and mainstream media. They have to know what's happening, and I'm questioning whether they're making attempts to try to kind of buy out some of the bigger mainstream podcasts like a Joe Rogan or a Valuetainment or so on and so forth.
Well, this is the way I look at it. Is I look at, let's just say we're breaking it down to liberalism and conservatism, whatever. You can break it down any way that you want of media. Okay. I look at it this way, that they rule different sectors of media. Okay. Everyone will say, oh, the left runs it all. No, well, that's not really true. Right. The internet, believe it or not, that all right there is like conservative, Republican, a lot, I would say a majority of. But then when you get into like television, that's when it's totally bought and paid for, mainstream media outlets, all this stuff. Because what was the original intent for the news? What it was for was to keep the people in office of power, all this shit, liable. You know what I mean? That we can actually go back and we can keep you accountable for your shit. And that's what the media was originally made for. But what happens when a guy like me just dogs on you all the freaking time? Well, what they end up doing? They just end up buying you, because they say, dude, just shut the fuck up. Here's money. Whatever. That's what happens here. You know what I mean? And so it's very interesting how influence happens, especially with money and the different tiers of media, such as television, internet. And then you've got social media, which is totally left ran. But the truth is a lot of us kind of pour through, you know what I mean? And so, we get kind of a little bit more mistreated on these platforms and stuff like that. They're a little bit more ban heavy with the shit. But for the most part, we're able to still be on those platforms,
I hear rumors, I don't know how true it is, that the left is already trying to do this. They're like, for example, I don't know for sure, but there was a rumor floating around that there is a social media influencer named Destiny. And he's,
I know him very well.
Yeah, and he's a bit of a liberal, actually, a tremendous liberal. Yeah, and I understand the left is already have their hooks in them, paying them to support Kamala and that left agenda. I don't know how true it is. This is what I be.
It wouldn't surprise. No. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Right. I mean, the thing is it wouldn't surprise me for anybody on either side, to be honest. Right. When people start getting paid money, people start doing weird shit, whatever. Now, what they end up doing is they don't like look for a guy like me and try to flip me as a Kamala voter. It's just not going to happen. What they try to do is they align their views with who they're buying. So if let's say Destiny, for instance, that's a perfect Kamala like campaign for her to actually get involved and be like, hey, blah, 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 make some sort of deal. Yeah. That what they tend to do is they go for the influencers that are already on that thinking pattern. You know what I mean? So they're not trying to flip like guys and stuff like that to just now you're thinking completely different. But media is very interesting with when money gets involved, especially in all these special interest people and all that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Nothing seems to be sticking with her though.
No. Right.
And then no matter what hoops they jump through or hurdles they climb, no matter what, nothing seems to be sticking with this woman. Yeah. And at first everybody was screaming, that listen, you have to do some public appearances. You got to do some interviews, and the more she goes on and does these interviews, the worse it gets for her. I mean,
no kidding. No kidding. She couldn't even speak longer for 7 minutes, without, that was her whole speech. And now she's having Obama campaign for her.
Yeah.
She can't even speak at her own freaking rallies. You know what I mean?
This is a Hail Mary pass, a desperation attempt.
100%.
Nobody has a former president actually touring for you. Right. He might make an appearance here and there.
But who really runs the show, though? You know what I mean? So that's that. You dig kind of deep. You look into like, okay, Biden, Harris, all this bullshit.
Right.
It's all Obama's cabinet. It's all Obama's administration, and Daddy Obama is out there campaigning for his daughter, essentially. Going out there and doing it for her, which is crazy because he knows, and so does the Democratic Party. They know that she can't speak worth a shit, and every time she speaks and opens her fucking mouth, that her ratings drop. Yeah. They know every time because America doesn't actually like her ass.
Yeah. So 100%. There's nothing likable. Look, I can understand her winning over voters if that she is likable and she is sociable and she could speak for more than 10 minutes, because then you can win voters over if you're not on the same side as policy.
Right.
But it doesn't even have that. And here's a question for you. Do you think it would have been better or worse if they would have stuck with Joe Biden? Because I think it would have been better at this point.
At this point, I think it would have been a good thing if they would have stuck with him up until the run, and then he would have gotten decimated by Trump. I totally believe so. Yeah. I think it's actually on the Democrat side. I think it's actually a very smart move. I think that was something that they planned out perfectly. Right. You know what I mean? It fits every bit of inclusiveness. It includes everything that the Democrats stand for. You know what I mean? And she's got the essential voice to talk about those subjects. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what they did. And I think that was probably the best decision they could make in that very moment. Mm-hmm. But was she the right person for the job? I don't think so.
No, obviously it's apparent she isn't. It goes without saying. And when you do from time to time run into a Kamala supporter, the only thing that they really have is, I want to see a woman or a woman of color or in the White House. And that's all they kind of run on. And it's like, well, but not this woman. I don't mind a woman running, but it's got to be a very, very special woman.
Well, it's either that, where it's like, oh, she's a woman, she's a black woman, whatever. Or it's single issue voting, which is a huge thing believe it or not, in the women's community. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're single issue voters. And, a majority of these Kamala voters are voting for the right of their own autonomy, right? And so that's what they're fighting for at the moment and what their biggest issue is. So they're essentially bandwagoning for one problem. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I really honestly hope Republicans do not lose off of a stupid single policy.
I just don't see it, man. I mean, where I live in New Jersey is traditionally Democratic. Okay. I'm in North Jersey. I'm about 20 minutes from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right in the heart of it.
Right. So I am, when it was Biden, Harris, when it was Hillary Clinton, you saw those signs everywhere. I don't see Kamala signs. I don't see Trump signs.
Yeah, you don't see the activity.
I don't see the Kamala Walt signs at all.
I don't. I mean, I live somewhere that I probably wouldn't anymore. If I still lived in California, I'm sure I would. Yeah. I was born and raised there, and I've only been out of California for only 4 months, so I'm very in tune with how the thinking is. You know what I mean?
When I go back to my mother's and I'm on Staten Island, there's Trump stuff everywhere.
Yeah, I mean that's everywhere. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah, you know what I mean. But yet he'll still lose. He'll still lose New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just very interesting how shit like that works.
Yeah, we got to see, because even he doesn't. He seems to have the minority vote. Most,
I would agree.
So, and then he also seems to have the gay vote, not the LGBT, but the
Right.
gay vote. Because even gay people are sick of the identity politics and the LGBT craze with, letting men in women's sports and into women's bathrooms and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I know plenty of gays that are against that.
Me too, because it's just common sense, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't know, but I just don't see it. And I'm in New York City, and I'm in
You're
either.
actively in
Yeah,
the area,
and I
yeah.
don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a blue collar guy, but I'm in New York City, and I don't run into many Kamala. And I'm in the part of Jersey I'm in. Like I said, is traditionally Democratic, and there is not a lot of Kamala support here. Not at all.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I personally haven't seen any of her support, especially like I said, like where I live.
Yeah.
I just don't see it ever. I mean, Trump everything, but
right.
yeah, no Kamala, nothing.
I want to move on to the next story, but I need we have to do a commercial break.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here's the commercial break.
Let's hear it.
All right. The shirt I'm wearing, Beer League Warriors apparel. Mike, you got to get yourself one of these shirts, man. You go to Beer League Warriors apparel on Instagram, or you go to beerleaguewarriors.com. And he is a brand new startup company, and he has all these athletic gear. He's starting off with shirts, and soon he's going to have much more. But basically, it's that dry fit that everybody likes,
I do like that.
Yeah. And, when you go to the gym or when you're going on a bike ride or a run and you wear one of these things, it's actually very comfortable and you don't have to worry about sweating and so on and so forth. And it's good quality for a good price and support small business. Beer League Warriors apparel. All the info is in the description area. The other sponsor I have to shout out to is Jersey Alternative Medicine, which is a anti-aging TRT hormone replacement clinic. So if you are feeling sluggish, or if you are having problems in the bedroom, or maybe having issues, probably maybe with getting your wife pregnant or any of these things, you can actually go, or losing weight. That's another big thing. Everybody wants to lose weight. You go to these people, Jersey Alternative Medicine, and they will give you blood work. They send you the prescription. You go get the blood work done. You do not have to go into the office. It is international. It could be in any state in the nation, and you do it over the phone, and you do it over the internet service. They look over your blood work, and then they go over with you what you need to do and what prescriptions they need, and whatever prescriptions that you need from them, they will email you, and they continuously monitor your blood work. They will tell you to go from time to time, and they want to see how things are happening. So that is Jersey Alternative Medicine, and the website is njaltmeds.com, and the number is 609-977-2981, and that is also in the description. And if you are interested in bodybuilding supplements because you want to get buff like me and Mike,
yeah, like you, right.
you go to I Prevail Subs. That is also in the description. They have great supplements: creatine, pre-workout, BCAAs, so on and so forth. All right.
Hell yeah.
Back to the show.
Nice. Well done, sir.
Thank you. The next one I'm going to talk about it. It bothers me a lot. It really does, because this whole pedo thing, underage kid raping, this is way too common in our society.
I agree.
It is getting to the point where it's actually disgustingly common. When you go down Kevin Spacey and Epstein and Weinstein and who was the R&B singer that went to
R.
prison?
Kelly.
R. Kelly. And now you got Diddy. Well, there is a New York Post put out a article last week. Sean Diddy Combs accused of raping 13-year-old with two other celebrities at VMA's after party. So it says here, Sean Diddy Combs, let's see, the disturbing allegations were laid bare in a slew of civil lawsuits filed against the fallen music mogul in the Southern District of New York late Sunday. In one of the suits, an alleged teen victim, only identified as quote-unquote Jane Doe, claimed she was attacked after having one drink that left her feeling woozy and lightheaded, at the drug-fueled house party in September of 2000, the court papers charge. Quote, looking for a place to rest, plaintiff entered what she believed to be an empty room so could lie down for a moment, end quote, the suit states. Soon after, Combs, along with a male and female celebrity, entered the room. Now, as much as of a disgusting human being we find out that Diddy is, allegedly, where are the parents of these kids?
No kidding. That's what I ask every time I hear shit like this.
She's 13 years old. Who in the hell is letting a 13-year-old go to an after-hours VMA party?
No, that's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, that bothers me more so than anything else, you know? I mean, you have a little girl. Could you imagine?
I couldn't. No, yeah. I couldn't. It would be all-out warfare.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't. There has to be either no father or weak father or parents that have their own agenda. Like, yeah, let my daughter or let my son around these people because we'll make money. They're celebrities, so on and so forth. And people that aren't real parents, because this is a disgusting situation. The one thing that I liked in the last mass shooting instance, I don't remember where it was. Where was it, Mike? Where the kid, I believe they arrested the father because he used the father's weapon.
Correct. You're talking about Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia's school shooting.
And it's like, finally.
Right. Hold someone accountable.
Right.
And especially when you allowed access to it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I don't know what the laws are in Georgia, but I would assume you need to keep your firearms locked up. And how do you not know that your kid is the social misfit? You have to know that as a parent. If that's the case, you're not a parent. You're just the sperm that your kid wrote in on. Yeah,
you got to be responsible. I mean, I'm a carrier myself and stuff like that. I'll just say for YouTube. And yeah, it's like you have to have responsibility with that, especially if children are around, and especially when they become of like age where they can actually pick one up and use it, such as a child going to high school or something like that, right? So the thing is I'm actually the guy that says, man, you shouldn't have to lock up your shit. But I am someone that says don't leave it out in plain sight so that they can just grab it. Okay. So I don't necessarily condone the whole thinking of like everyone has to have a safe and know the code and all that shit. For me, I'm just like, there's common sense to this shit. Like when I have my, daughter, that shit is gone. That shit is like where she's not going to see it. She'll never see it. You know what I mean? Like she'll never stumble across it. Like it'll never happen, but that's because I'm responsible.
Right.
Now, but here's the thing. Is everybody going to be a responsible owner? Mm-hmm. Of course not. No one, majority of people aren't even responsible parents, let alone a gun owner. Right. So, we saw the issues that Atlanta ordeal had. That kid was in trouble multiple times, and he was actually visited by police for a suspected, there was something going to go down where there was kind of conspiracy of something to happen, but he didn't do it, but there was conspiracy. And so he got visited, got hounded, and the dad got hounded and everything. It's all caught on camera. Right. You know what I mean? And I reviewed it. And then like only a year later, this ordeal happens.
Yeah, it bothers me more than ever because when I see parents like somebody like yourself who's very responsible, I respect that greatly. And then when I see parents that are not responsible and that are just piece of shit parents, it bothers me so bad because I've always wanted kids and it never happened for me. For that's a story for another time, but it never happened. And we went through a lot because of it. So when I see these parents just irresponsible. They should not
be caring. Just so nonchalant.
Yeah. You're letting your 13-year-old kid go to a VMA party. It just blows me away.
It's unreal.
Or even when you look at who is the kid that everybody is talking about that Diddy was with? There was Usher.
Oh man, there's a lot of these.
And then the other one is who am I talking about? The white kid.
You talking about like Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber. Mm-hmm. I know he's very talented and whatnot, but Why push him along that early? Why let him? Why? I don't see anything good that can come out of him being a child celebrity at 14, 15 years old, except for money. And if that's the case, then you sold your soul to the devil. If you want your child and use him for money and fame, then you literally failed. As
Michael Jackson was a prime example of that.
Yeah, right. Yes. Great example.
And look how that came out.
Right.
I don't think that was fantastic endings.
No, you're 100% right. Child celebrities, generally speaking, don't end up well. They don't. It's even if there isn't predators around, it's more of a it's more of a psychological issue that you go through because your height in life was at 15. And then it's all downhill from there. Very few have gone on to become Jodie Fosters or,
Well, it's very rare to not only have that talent, but then be able to withstand keeping that talent throughout your life.
Right. Yes, exactly.
It's a job. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah. So the parents that just let their kids go hang out with R. Kelly, Diddy, it just baffles me, man. It absolutely
totally. Same thing with the back to Michael Jackson when these kids were going to whatever Neverland or whatever it's called.
Right.
It's like, where the fuck are these parents, dude?
It blows me away. It just blows me away.
Yeah.
Like are you really that starved?
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. And single mothers are to blame, but also weak fathers are to blame too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you don't have a dad that's there to protect your children, I don't know.
Your father is meant to be, not only a protector, but to be of the disciplinary, right?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to learn frame and boundary and shit like that. And it's very hard to do with only a mom or a father that doesn't have a backbone.
Right. Right. Agreed. Fully agree. And we see this happening more and more. And the thing is, though, the Diddy thing is already being brushed under the rug. I think too many people are fixated on the Kamala Harris, Trump thing, Elon Musk.
So you think the election is a distraction to Diddy when I think it's the opposite. I think that Diddy is a complete, right now, even though he has done some filthy shit, I think he is also being used as a pawn in the opposite.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because this article came out last week. And nobody's talking about it, where a month ago, everybody was kind of talking about it.
Yeah. And see, that's where I was going, well, hold on. This is a distraction, in my opinion, right? Was just to further divide, get more conflict, get involved. Now, of course, did he do some raunchy shit? And I mean, the truth is the evidence looks like it. You know what I mean? But I am not the jury. I'm not the judge. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, it's just radical all the way around. And I just thought it originally was to further divide Americans, especially. And because that you see, there's panels right now that have like where Piers Morgan is hosting, guys actually defending Diddy.
Yeah.
And it's like, you actually believe that? Like, that's crazy. But people do.
Yeah, but here's the thing, I completely, again, it's not sticking, right? It's just not the main, the majority of like you said, when Michael Jackson and that whole thing was happening with Neverland, you had a lot of people support Michael Jackson, but you didn't have social media. All you had was mainstream.
Yeah, you're right.
Mainstream media,
and that was controlled.
Yeah, and now you have like you said, you have so much information at your fingertips. And the large majority of people now are going to podcasts, YouTube channels. They're not watching. If you're watching mainstream news, you're probably over 50, over 55. The younger generation is not really.
Oh, hell no. The guys my age, they ridicule the fuck out of my show just because I have the mainstream on there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I have to base something from something. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be able to break down total degenerative behavior by showing you the degenerative behavior first, and then let me explain further why this is happening or whatever, what the mainstream media won't tell you. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It's unbelievable how it's flipped upside down in the last 10 years. Oh, good for us, guys like us.
Totally. Granted.
But I think the people that are in power, they've been so used to basically just getting what they want. I don't think they know how to react to these things.
No, this is an out of control situation
for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
For the state,
the puppeteers, the guys that are used to doing this.
Yeah.
They're used to those strings where they get control everything. Right now, these puppets are running around by themselves. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. You know what I
mean? And when we talk about the guy pulling the strings, what we're specifically talking about is allegedly Vanguard, State Street, and BlackRock are the three big ones. I believe they own 85% of the stock shares in all the world's company, if that's accurate.
That's true. But also remember that
Fortune 500.
Vanguard is owned by BlackRock.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unreal.
So, I mean, that's what's crazy. They're two different companies, but BlackRock owns them.
It's unreal. So
two biggest investment firms in the entire world owned by the same people.
Yeah, that's right. It's like what is it, 10 trillion?
Oh, it's no. What they actually run underneath their like monies is like 300 trillion or something ridiculous. It's like it's the world's currency. You know, they run it. They actually run all this money. It's insane. I forget what the exact number is, but it's something ridiculous, insane. Like hundreds of trillions.
That's insane. And if you don't think people like that have the power to shut your lights out or have the power to make mainstream media say what they want, it's right then and there.
They can do anything they want to your ass.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just unreal. And here's another thing that Elon Musk said that I admire a lot. Again, on Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson asked Elon Musk a question. The question was, why do you think the majority of elite billionaires are siding with Kamala Harris? Why do you think they're supporting her? And Elon Musk quickly said, I think because when Trump gets in, there's a good possibility of him releasing the Epstein list. And he named a couple of names too.
I mean, that's interesting, and I would say that would be a huge contributor. I would say that would be a huge contributor right there. Like alone, if that is true, you know what I mean? Then I would see that as yes. But I also see that the machine is bought and paid for by the Democrats.
Right.
That's the one thing that I see, that they're just bought and paid for already. So their candidate automatically falls down to Kamala. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. But
it's unbelievable, because what's funny is that, man, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, it was the complete opposite. It was the Republican Party that was bought and paid for, and the Democrats were fighting for, they were the blue collar, guys party. They were the
they've owned it since Obama, for real.
Yeah, it's really changed since Obama. Yeah, that's
correct.
Right. Yeah,
since Obama, it all kind of shifted. Now, were things bought and paid for back then? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're not discrediting that. We're not, but to this level, I think the real shift happened on Obama. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. And here's my conspiracy theory as to why it happened with Obama. Okay, this is just my theory, and tell me if you agree with this. I don't know if you've kind of went into this, but when Obama got elected into office, that was pretty much the best time of racial non-tension in the country.
I would probably say that it was high during his running.
Right, but no, once he got
in and things calmed down, I would say that there was still disdain, but it definitely calmed down.
Right.
I would think that was probably about the best time racially, probably ever.
Right. Because the large majority of white voters voted for Obama in that.
Well, he couldn't have won without the white vote.
Right.
It's impossible.
So how can you accuse a country of being systemically racist if the white people of that country had no problem voting a black person in?
Correct.
So if you remember, during the Obama administration, that's when BLM was born, and that's when Antifa was born.
Terrible organizations.
Right. And I think that was done purposely to divide the country again, because
Genius.
and it's just my opinion. And it just seemed like they weren't happy with the idea that a country was being unified.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. What's your opinion on it? What do you think? I
No,
mean,
I definitely can see how, Obama was a very interesting time. And, that was an interesting time for me as well, because I wasn't even a full blown adult, right? For me in 2008, I was in 8th grade. You know what I mean? But
right.
I'm a very observant kid, I guess, and I really kind of focus in on this shit. It fascinates me. But I think that time frame really changed a lot of things. I think, social media was really starting to pop off in 2009. That's when Facebook really became something. And then 2011 was, 2010, I guess it was, Instagram. So it, like, all these big things changed, and we can't just put it on one thing, right? Because social media kind of put pressure on everybody,
Right.
because we can hold anybody accountable. No one has to have an actual platform. Yeah, you didn't own a Fox Studios. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, now you can just go live on your phone and get attention. Like,
Right.
that was never a possibility before.
Right.
And so
Agreed.
now social media has now held others accountable as well, because there is a lot of force and tension that happens on there that actually makes changes due to social media, because of the amount of force and the amount of people that got collectively together, and was like forcing a situation. And social media is a huge component of that.
Right. I fully agree. All right. Last and final article, and this one is funny but not so funny at the same time. So this was not long ago, actually, and I actually saw this on a friend of mine who does a podcast YouTube channel, and he went over this, and the channel is Vincent Briatore TV. So apparently, this is by Science Alert. Man declared brain dead wakes up as organs about to be removed. A case of a Kentucky man waking up as his organs were about to be harvested for donation has called into question the protocols used by U.S. hospitals and organ donations networks to qualify death. Whistleblower, I can't even pronounce that name, Nicoletta Martin, I guess, outlined a horrific case in a letter addressing the U.S. House of Representatives Energy and Commerce Committees in September hearing of the nation's organ procurement and transplantation system. While employed as an organ preservationist for Kentucky organ donor affiliates, Martin had allegedly reviewed a case notes on October 2021. According to this report by the U.S. Public Broadcasting Organization, National Public Radio, those case notes indicating the donor had shown signs of life following a clinical test to evaluate the heart's fitness for transplant purposes. The donor
Signs of life?
Yeah. So it says the donor had woken up during the procedure that morning for a cardiac catheterization. Martin told NPR, right? Yeah. And he was thrashing around on the table. The patient at the center of the incident is 36-year-old Anthony Thomas Hoover, who had been rushed to Baptist Health Hospital in Richmond, Kentucky following a drug overdose, declared brain dead in the wake of a cardiac arrest. TJ was removed from life support and prepared for organ donation in accordance with he wishes. His sister, Donna Rohrer, was by her brother's side following his passing, along with other family members. Rohrer recalled TJ's eyes opened and looked about on the way to the theater. To be told by staff this was a common reflex. I see. He opened his eyes and staff was like, oh, that's normal. Gotcha.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah. It was only later that TJ displayed more exaggerated movements on the operating table and was, quote, visibly crying, end quote, that medical staff in the room became alarmed. Wow. So in a chaotic and emotionally charged response to the situation, surgeons declined to continue the procedure, even as KODA allegedly requested another doctor to follow up, something which KODA denies. Holy shit.
This is wild.
Yeah, really.
Is this going to court?
I don't know. Let me see. I have no idea. The procuring surgeon, he was like, I'm out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. organ preservation at the hospital, Natasha Miller. It was very chaotic. Everyone was just very upset. Thankfully, TJ remains alive in the care of his sister. He has ongoing problems with his speech, memory, and movement. The case is under investigation by the Federal Health Resources and Service Administration. Baptist Health Richmond issued a statement through NPR affirming the safety of its patients is its highest priority, while CODA maintains the case hasn't been accurately represented. Oh, boy.
What state is this in?
Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
If a patient's condition improves or they do not experience cardiac arrest within an established period of time for donation, the family is informed and the donation cannot take place, and the patient remains under the care of the hospital. This is exactly what occurred in the case as issued. Okay, so they're saying that, Jesus, determining the likelihood that a patient could regain some degree of consciousness in the future depends largely on a meeting of lists of criteria concerning the state of brain function. The balance is certainly against various other needs and concerns. Jesus Christ, man. Be it hospitals, beds, ventilators, or even organs that could see another patient survive. Too lax or rare events like this could become less rare, shaking the public's confidence in the medical system. Holy shit. Could you imagine?
Wild.
I mean, if you can't trust your doctor, you're screwed.
No, you're right. That's the one person that should be telling you the damn truth. You know what I mean?
I wonder if it was just a fuck up. You know, here's the problem. We have been so overwhelmed with a bunch of bullshit and lies and whatnot in the last, 5 years or so, that when you see something that could be a legitimate just accident, you automatically go, nah. Yeah, no. They did this because they wanted the money or they needed the organ or whatever the case may be. But it could be just a major fuck up.
It could be. Now, here's what I would really respect from an organization such as them. If they came out and said, listen, we do X amount per year. This has never been an issue. You know what I mean? And here's why it happened. This is a weird mess up in our case. We apologize. We'll make sure this doesn't happen in the future.
Right.
And I can really respect that from companies, people, whatever. People take accountability is something that is a lost art. You know what I mean? Yeah. And companies dodge it all the time because, unfortunately, we got morons out there that will sue. Right. And they know that they will make money off this shit, millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to be able to do this shit.
Right.
And unfortunately, it doesn't incentivize people to be honest. It doesn't incentivize people to go, here's the real truth. And I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Taking accountability, there isn't any of that because it's not incentivized here.
Agreed. And these people are going to sue. I mean, if they, that's a no-brainer. No pun intended, but that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, right. Oh shit, we're getting down.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's unfucking believable, but, Well,
look at what Papa Penguin just said. He said, we trusted them during COVID. How did that work out?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, you can't. I think we had the highest death rate in any country on planet Earth when it came to COVID.
And also on not only COVID, but also heart disease and drug use. Wow. We are the king consumers of drugs in the world. King consumers. We're just degenerate lunatics.
Drugs sometimes ain't that bad.
Yeah. I can't say every experience was terrible. You know what I mean? Right? Like, can't lie. I'm not going to cap.
Yeah. Because sometimes, all you want is that prescription. Like I got pink eye last week. I called my doctor. He's like, here's a prescription.
Damn, how'd you get them Percocets?
Pink eye. Jesus.
Yeah, you got some Perc 30s for that shit. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. I tell you. But it was bad. That was bad in the early 2000s.
Right. No, it was. Pill popping, especially Quaaludes, right? That was like right around when I was born.
It was the Oxycontin thing.
Yes, oxycodone got real big.
Yeah.
And it's still big.
Oh yeah. But
hence, but that's more expensive, so hence why people fall eventually to heroin and then fentanyl,
Right, exactly. And what's funny is
cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper.
When I grew up, where I grew up, I was living in Staten Island at the time. So I grew up in Brooklyn, then I was living in Staten Island. And whatever was left of the mafia was all over that OxyContin thing, man. It was unbelievable.
Some people I know people to this day that are still stuck on it from 30 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
What are you doing?
But they would get a hold of a doctor knowing that he would give prescriptions of OxyContin, and they would just squeeze him for everything he could possibly get out of him. And they didn't get, and it was just a shit show, man. And there was I can't tell you, there was so many pillheads on Staten Island during that time.
That's not just there; it was everywhere.
I know.
It was everywhere.
Right. It was really bad. It was really,
rampant.
really bad. It was unbelievable. All right, Mike. Listen, tomorrow I have a big day because, as you know, I do a lot of interviews.
Yes, you do.
Right? Yeah, I do a lot of interviews.
You interviewed me.
I did, actually. I did. That was actually a really good interview.
That was great.
So, and you know that the majority of my stuff is usually mafia people, bikers, people that don't really fit well into society, like yourself, right?
Yep. Well said.
Yeah, and I do porno stars too. I like to interview porno stars. They get great views, and people love hearing the inside scoop.
Hell yeah!
Yeah. So tomorrow there is a porn expo being held in New Jersey. It's held every year. They call it Exotica New York, but they hold it in Jersey because it's just cheaper to hold in Jersey. And then they have a huge convention, and I go every year to. Well, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the cleavage, but
absolutely.
But I go there every year to try and get myself some interviews. And last year it's where I met Ginger Lynn, which is my highest viewed video, which is it's approaching 250,000 views.
Nice.
Yeah. And so I'm going back tomorrow. And what's funny, Mike, is that when you go in there are 4 types of people that basically go there, right? And the first type of people are the freaks, right? You get people that are in get to dressed up as dominatrix. Yeah. A lot of overweight women like to do this too.
Yes.
A lot of overweight.
A lot.
Yeah, it's kind of
weird.
Yeah, I guess they kind of feel accepted. You have a lot of transgenders, but I don't even consider them transgenders. It's just weird guys with a wig on and lipstick. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't.
They got a fake hair hat.
Yeah, man. If you're not interested in chopping away the goods, you're not a transgender, man. You just right. And then you have couples. You have couples that go there to spice up their love life a little bit. Because they sell all different types of sex toys and all different kinds of outfits and all kinds of stuff.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah. Then the other type is what I refer to as the super fan. Here's a guy who kind of lives in his mother's basement.
Oh shit.
And all he does is he's obsessed over porn, and he knows what porn star did what scene at what year and what award she won for it. And they're there, and you know who they are because they look the part, right? They got the they might be balding and they have the crown and glasses, and they look like pedos, but they're just into porn, right? And then there are my favorite group of people that go to the porn convention. And these are guys like you and me who go out one Saturday night.
Yeah. Just experience some shit. Yeah. We went to the bar. We went to the bar first.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we were stumbling our way home and we come across this shit.
That's exactly. Yeah.
What's happening over here, guys?
Yeah. And those people because there's always 3 to 5, maybe 7 of them. They're all basically maybe in their 20s and 30s. They're wasted. And when they want to take a picture with the porn star, but what they do is they usually lift her over their head and they'll put her on their shoulders and they're all fucking drunk. And they are my favorite type of people to go in.
Because they're totally out of their element. You know what I mean? That's not their everyday life. You know what I mean? That's like that's a once in a year activity.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go to the expo, man.
Yeah, fuck it. It sounds great. We're bored. Got nothing to do.
Yeah, and then they show up there and it's just hilarious, man.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, but I like to go by my.
You're interviewing him?
No, I'm going
guy
to
or a girl
interviews.
Oh, so you're going there to do it. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
To try to get like, and I don't care if it's guys or girls, as long as they are basically names that, you know, people want to see the names.
Absolutely.
You know?
If they're willing to talk and they're in the industry.
Right. So
golden ticket, baby.
Yeah. I've had Sarah J on. I've had Miss Danny on.
Wow.
I've had Ginger Lynn, Gigi Dior, which is another one.
So you've had some, like, this is not a concept that you're just thinking of. You've done this.
Yeah.
Okay, right on, man.
No,
that's awesome.
This is my third straight year in a row going, but my 5th time actually going.
Dope.
Yeah. And the last 3 times was basically I go there, right? I usually wear my shirt, the Serious and Silliness Outcast shirt, and then I'm just like a man on a mission.
Just hell yeah.
Yeah, here's the problem.
Well, there's 2 missions. Well, see, see, we're deviating. We're deviating here. Because there's going to be 2 missions here. Homie's going to get lucky. You know what I mean? Like, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah. The biggest problem I have there is that I only know the big titty porno stars. I don't know any of the. Like, if you got little titties, I never heard of you. That's the problem.
Yeah. That is a weird problem, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like a huge
there are
problem.
times I see a girl with little titties and she's got a line a mile long because guys want to meet her. I go, I have no idea who that person is, but I'm not going to waste my time jacking off the little titty girl. It's just not going to happen.
Never happened. Never happened.
Never happened. Yeah, absolutely.
Skip right past those.
Yeah, no, that ain't fucking happening. But and what's funny is, like, it doesn't do me any good on a podcast if a girl has little titties because you can't see the titties. And even if you got a bit, you
got to get the downward. See, I've got a downward camera. You know what I mean? So if I were a chick, I had some big titties right here, it would look great right here. I move my microphone a little bit, show the cleavage.
Right.
Yeah. No.
And if you got a big ass, it doesn't do anything for me either because
you're sitting down anyways.
See, there's
logic to this shit. Yeah, we think ahead of the game. You see this?
That's a method.
We plan this out. Yeah. Logistics. Yeah.
And the whole place smells like plastic.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because of all the rubber toys. And I'm not kidding.
I'm sure there's booths where there's a whole bunch of shit.
A ton of them.
I know.
I can
only imagine. Hey, Diddy would do really well there with his baby oil and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, brother. Listen, I'm going to let you go.
I appreciate you for having me, man. And also, real quick, tell my audience where to find you on YouTube.
Okay. Well, Serious and Silliness Outcasts. Basically, I have 2 channels, Serious and Silliness Outcasts, Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. But here, you want to watch Serious and Silliness Outcasts on YouTube. It's also on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and Rumble. But this is where I do the interviews. This is where Mike has been interviewed, and I've interviewed plenty of former mob members, former bikers, porno stars, former KKK members, anybody who doesn't really fit well into society. And I also review things. So I've had an author who's written several books on prison gangs. And he's coming back on. So we did one. I'm going to show you right here.
That's dope.
Yeah, we did one on the Aryan Brotherhood. This was his book on the Aryan Brotherhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did another one on the Mexican Mafia right here. And then he's coming back. I just got this book in the mail. And once I finish reading this one, he's going to come back and we're going to talk about the Black Gorilla family, which is a huge prison gang. So it's great.
That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, great content, man. Fantastic content. So come on over and check it out, please. Anyway,
everyone go over there and subscribe to him, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but John, I very much appreciate you. Thank you for having me on your show, man. And it's always a pleasure.
Of course, brother. Anytime.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys.